Well, in this video, I want to show really ad hoc the tell a friend videos. Tough video means tell a friend. Now, where does that come from? This friend is actually homage to Alfred Adler, a relatively unknown psychologist, I don't know, and he lived at the same time as Freud, and he actually was not in agreement. Initially, yes, but then not in agreement with Freud. And so, especially because Alfred Adler did not write books, so it was not that he wrote lots of books, and also because it's very, very hard on people, very cruel on people. Alfred Adler was not becoming very popular, but I really think that Alfred Adler is fantastic and you should look into his ideas. And Adler said every connection he has, every relationship he has is a friendship connection. Now, and that is why I say that. And also, when I do a video, when I do something like this now, it is I talk to a friend. And now, if you imagine you talk to a friend, then there are two things. First, no cuts. No cuts. Yeah? You cannot cut. You talk 10 minutes. That's it, 10 minutes. You have his attention, you talk. So that's the same with this video. So I have 10 minutes, I talk. There's no cuts. The second thing is there is no retake. A retake is unfair because in that situation here, you have no retake. You will not tell the guy, please leave the room and then come in again and I start all over, which would be a retake. Now, the thing is, sometimes when you explain something to somebody, then he might say, look, I don't think that is right. While you do a tell a friend video, it's your own inner critics. So you have your inner critics that says, oh, that wasn't good. And then you notice while you do the tough video. That is why I usually recommend you should know what you talk about, because there is no cuts and there is no retake. Now, the thing is, when you look at this, initially, tell a friend seems, well, what's that? It's not important. But it improves the clarity of thoughts over time in a way that is fantastic. I love it. I love it. Because your brain starts to argue in a way. If I cannot do a tough video about what I'm thinking about, then I did not understand. So you then know. And that means your brain starts to always think, how can I explain it? Did I understand everything? And this comes close to something that I discovered together with a friend of mine, Einstein. Why was Einstein able to come up with his relativity theory? Obviously, because it was a good mathematician, and obviously his goal was to kind of find something out. But the main thing is that he uses the tough principle. That means every day he wanted to tell his wife, while they were walking in the park, they were walking, and he explained to his wife his ideas. That means he had to come up with the easy explanation of the thing he was working on. So in the office, the thing was hard, and his brain knew that from hard, explaining hard to her, she wouldn't understand. Sometimes there was also, I don't want to only draw a woman here. So there were also, I think, some friend of his that went with him in the park. So, and he had also to tell it to this friend of him. So his brain, every day, his brain was thinking, oh, hard problem, but how do I explain it to these? And while it does that, it actually translates the problem intuitively from hard into the most easiest representation so that these guys can understand. And now the thing is, this, as always happens when you get used to something, this became a way his brain was thinking every second. Yeah, because this is a habit, and the habit would continue even if those guys are out of the equation. So his brain developed to a brain that actually used the tough principle, and this is what I really like with this with these tough videos. And obviously there's this thing, writing. No, writing crystallizes thoughts. I fully agree. That's perfect. And then also discussing, crystallized thoughts, and so on. So writing is good. Then also designs and drawings and diagrams. Yeah, diagrams. That is why I use them also here, because then you can map that easier into your brain and the structure of your brain. And then there is another additional advantage of Tell a Friend, and that is, I was talking about Adler and Freud, and there's also Jung, who's kind of also, he split kind of a little bit up, atheist and religious, and Alfred Adler was the guy that no excuses, that's a fantastic, whereas Freud is like, oh, you poor guy. And so Freud to me is like, nowadays everybody, oh yeah, you poor guy, we have this and this and this. Whereas Adler, he says there's no excuse. Start now. What do you want to do? Do you want to pity yourself? Yeah, self-pity? Or do you want to blame terrible other, you stupid you or stupid world, No. Alfred Adler said, from that you say, okay, what's next? Do something. Yeah, so that is why Alfred Adler is actually not very very easy, and people actually don't like his ideas, because he says, just do something about it. Don't pity yourself and don't blame others. Do it. Do something, change something. So Alfred Adler is fantastic. That's why I actually like him a lot. But he has a lot of other things with his friendship and so on, and how you receive happiness and so on. But I was shifting away. Now, the next thing, so what Freud and Jung and Adler did to psychoanalysis, is what tough does to your thinking. Yeah? Because tough actually pulls out your thinking. So you have your brain, your intellect, and together with your limbic system, usually the reptile brain shouldn't be active, no fear. So your intellect and your wishes and your kind of in between here would kind of be the fast thinking. So your intellect, with Tell a Friend, you ask, what do I think? What do I think? So plot it, the tough video. And then you'll discover, oh, that's what I think. Oh, there's a flaw here. There's a flaw here, and there's an error here, and there's a big hole here, I don't know. And, oh, I forgot this. Whoops. And then, so what it does is, it's like laying on the couch of a psychologist, for your psyche, and the same is here for your thinking, for critical thinking and so on. And that is why I really love these tough videos. And I think if you do that, if you do this principle for 1, 2, or 3 years, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed how much you know. It's stunning. I think Jordan Peterson also mentioned something like 3 years. Do 3 years of really critical thinking and very hard thinking. It's hard. It's really hard. But you will be amazed what you do. Oh, he didn't say that about just the thinking part. He said that about any trade, anything you are doing. So 3 years of really intensive improvement, and you'll be a master in anything. And I think that is completely true. And I really encourage everybody to go for it. It doesn't matter what you do, what job you have. Just try to get the best, to become the best in your job. And don't compare yourself to somebody else. Compare yourself to, what did I do yesterday? And today, chaka, yeah, I'm better. Great, I love it. And then move on. And never, never, ever compare yourself to another person. You can, so, get ideas from somebody. Oh, he does that like that. Oh, that's good. How can I apply that to me? To my life. Don't ever, ever compare yourself to somebody else. Thanks a lot for listening, and bye-bye. See you in the next video.